Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel, and I just wanted to let you know that I am still having so much fun with the holiday release from Pretty Pink Posh. So I have a card for you today that's a little extra special. It's a spinner card. It's so easy to create, and the stamps and stencils from Pretty Pink Posh really make it shine. So let's jump right into the card making. I'm starting with the Holiday Ornaments stamp set, and I've chosen one ornament that I'm going to use for my spinner card. So I'll stamp this ornament twice on some white cardstock with some black ink that is safe for alcohol markers. Now, when choosing your ornament, I think it's easiest to go with a circular ornament, but you can choose any shape you want so long as the window you create on the front of your panel is large enough to accommodate it and there's room at the top and the bottom. So now I'm going through and I'll color in both of these ornaments exactly the same. One's going to be on the front, one's going to be on the back, so I want them to be exactly the same, which means that as I go through and color one space on one ornament, I then flip the paper around and color the same space on the other ornament. This way I don't forget which colors I used where and everything looks exactly the same. I'm also not doing a ton of blending or shading here. I just want to get this ornament colored in some non-traditional holiday colors. Of course, you can use any colors you like. I love pinks and light blues and light purples around the holidays. I think it's such a pretty color combination and is really fresh and can still be bright even during the holidays when lots of colors seem very dark. For the ornament caps, I am adding a little bit of a silver gel pen. I'm keeping the little dash lines from the stamp, so I'm not coloring those in. And then I'll use a white gel pen just to add some little dots here and there and add little bits of detail. Now that I have them both the same, I'll cut them out with the die. So I only had one die, of course, so I cut each of them out, and now I'll work on the panel, on the background. I have a waffle flower grip mat placed down on my glass mat, and then I'll place the scattered snowflakes stencil right on top. And I love this stencil. It's just one layer, but it really creates such a pretty background. So I'm mimicking the colors of my ornaments in the background with 3 colors of inks. I have some small blending brushes that I'm using to color them in. You can see where the pink and the blue touch. You get a little bit of a light purple, and then I'll use a slightly darker purple at the bottom of this card. Next, I'll take the scallop circle from Pretty Pink Posh and cut out a circle out of that panel. Now I have a top folding A2 card base. I'm lining up the panel over the front of the card base and just making some lines. If you had a pencil, that would be a lot better here than a pen. I had no pencils around me. I don't know why or where they've all gone, but once you have that little line, then you can add the die to the front of the card base and make sure that the panel will line up perfectly. Now I'll run that through my die cut machine. Remember not to close your card base. You just want to cut the front of that card base. So once that's done, I can remove that die and I'll have a window through my card base. Next, I have some clear thread. You can use any thread you like. You could use silver here. You could use a light blue or a light pink, whatever you want. I love the clear thread because it makes it look like the ornament is floating. So basically, I'm trying to cut a size that will be a little bit longer at the top of the panel and a little bit longer at the bottom. I held the thread in place on the back ornament with some tape, and then I put liquid adhesive on it, and now I'll place the top ornament on it. So now I have the thread sandwiched in between my 2 die cut and colored ornament pieces. So next, I want to place them on the card base, and I want the top string to go over the top of the card base. I'll trim it later once I have it all adhered down. So again, I hold it in place with a little bit of tape. You can use anything you have, and you want to make sure that the string is not too taut so that you can spin it around. Next, I'll take some tape runner and run it right over the thread on the top and the bottom of this card base so that I'm really making sure that that thread is going to stay in place. And now I'll take the back of the panel that I created with the stencil and just put tape runner all around it. And then I can place this on top of the card base and it will have the ornament in the window hanging from that clear thread. I also placed the cutout that I had of the stenciled panel inside the card so that when the card is flat, it looks like the ornament is just on the card. But then I'll trim the little strings at the top and the bottom and make sure that there's nothing hanging out and that they're staying nice and adhered in there. Now I have a card with a spinner and the inside is really decorated cute as well. So to spin it, you just want to wind it up. I really like to go to town here and wind it a lot. And then what you'll do is once it's all wound, you'll close the card and place it in the envelope. This way, when the person who you give it to receives it and they open the card, they will see the ornament go spinning wildly in the window. I love how easy this is. It's such an easy card to create, but it has such a wow impact. Next up, I'm stamping a sentiment from the Winter Greetings stamp set. I love these sentiments. The script is so beautiful. The straight part of the font is beautiful as well. It's just delicate, but also sort of whimsical and pretty. They're great. So I stamped Merry and Bright, and they have dies to cut them out. I also like that a lot. I'll put on 2 foam squares behind the sentiment that I die cut and stamped and peel off those protective layers. And then I'll place this at the top of the circle. So I want to make sure that the circle can open and close. I don't want any adhesive adhering to the background, but I was able to pop that up and it hangs over the window, which I really like as well. I can't believe how easy that was. I really always had it in my head that spinner cards were going to be a lot harder. They are super simple, so definitely give this one a try. If you want to check out more information about this Pretty Pink Posh holiday release, I have an entire video over here. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. No. That was like record fast. Okay.